That's not our fault that it's as expensive. Look at the healthcare system for that. Right. Okay. We're just making a livable wage. Let's look at it the way that it really is. It's just livable by the time you get done with taxes, like you say.
Right.
$23 an hour comes out of what? 14.
Yeah, like
you take home.
I mean, you look at his. I mean, look at what brackets he's in. Look at the other costs. Like you get that bonus, the 15.
Yeah.
And the brackets he's in, he's gonna get like he's gonna get like $7K.
Yeah.
Out of $15,000. What's the rest go to? Oh, that's right. They incur more debt on that and go blow up stuff over in Iraq.
All right. Yeah, right.
I mean, that's not an efficient use of that money.
If things are out of control here, I was discussing with somebody, what's it going to take for the people to rise up and like hit the streets?
Well, we have change.
Mayor of Fairview.
What change? That's no change. Nothing's happening.
To the country. What are you talking about? Our president is invoking change.
Yeah, where?
Is
anybody?
Well, no, there's absolutely
a
change. The change is in which special interest gets the money.
No, there's not even a change in that, really. Not really.
Maybe they changed the company name. I don't know.
I mean, everything's going the same as it was that I can see. What's changed?
Well, you're seeing less money going to defense contracts.
Are we? Are we? No, I don't think. Has there been any change? I don't.
Well, I mean, it is still generally
the same thing.
There's no fundamental shift to stop band-aiding and fix actual problems. And I don't know how we're going to do that. I mean, I think Benjamin Franklin's statement of, the tree of liberty needs, pruned every once in a while. I'll just put it a little nicer in the way he put it.
Yeah, well, listen.
And I don't know, the country's in need of a big shift. And I don't
a really big shift that we don't seem to be capable of doing.
Right, well, we're still a little too apathetic, a little too comfortable.
Yeah, we're still able to have our transit beers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a luxury life.
When we can only have this much beer for $20, we'll get pissed about it. But until then, I mean, people are just too apathetic and not paying any damn attention.
Well, they got the football game and the SUVs go. You get your big screen TV. You get to have, if you're an American.
It is time for change. Formula One. There we go.
Time for change. You get your big screen TV because we're Americans, man. Big screen TVs.
We're no longer for IndyCar.
We get these cell phones, man.
Formula One.
Are they going to have that in Portland again?
No.
I don't think that.
It's big. It's America.
I would love it if something like that came back to PIR. That was like the first thing I did when I moved back up here was this. I saw a Le Mans race, Champ Car race, a bunch of other shit.
Well, there's going to be a NASCAR West race.
NASCAR cooling systems.
Oh, yeah, the NASCAR cooling system.
We have that in the bus.
Something I could probably get in trouble for talking about it here. But okay, so why does some sports get massive subsidies, and why do sports get subsidies at all?
Why do they? That's
they can pay for themselves.
Why are they putting in stadiums? How can they do that, man?
I know.
How can they do that? How can they do that right now?
In the prudish, urbany areas, there's one sport though that definitely pays for itself 100%.
What?
Okay.
Soccer.
And they, urbanites generally don't want it. And no, it's not soccer. It's NASCAR.
Oh, right. That's right. I've heard
they build their own tracks.
Right. They have
massive places. Yeah. And they almost never. I don't think.
No. Right. That is a self-supporting sport.
Well, wait a second. NASCAR wanted a huge chunk of money, but they wanted to build a racetrack up in Seattle. They wanted a public commitment for it.
Hey, there you go. So not even NASCAR.
There was a group in Oregon that wanted to build that NASCAR racetrack out in Boardman.
Yeah.
And NASCAR said no because it wasn't close to Seattle. NASCAR wants nothing to do with Oregon.
Right. Well, I don't think NASCAR wants that much to do with it.
No, NASCAR knows that they want to come to the Pacific Northwest. But NASCAR has made it very clear it is going to be in Washington.
Where?
Boardman or wherever.
No, that was a private group. They were not. In fact, NASCAR actually sent them a cease and desist letter. NASCAR wants nothing to do with Oregon. They put it in writing, basically. If they're going to build a track in the Pacific Northwest, it will be in Washington State.
Yeah.
They'll be Washington or nowhere. They will not consider
Generally
Oregon.
speaking, I mean, consider how much of a bailout the road sporters got for sports that, maybe, whatever percentage of population sees or whatever. And now we're going to bail out soccer to get soccer. I mean, it's going to cost the city, what, $20 million or $40 million?
How can they do that?
I mean, it's like, wait a second.
I can't take this anymore, man. Turn it off.
Here we go. So we have a measly $13.5 million budget shortfall in operations at Trident. So we're losing a bunch of service all over the place. Meanwhile, the city's going to blow $20 million.
Yeah, on the sports thing.
American soccer teams.
And don't forget the $500,000 for that stupid Made in Oregon sign.
Oh, they. I had been following that
about that. Just let U-Boat take it over?
I thought Randy.
I don't know, man. It's hopeless. It's hopeless. It's hopeless. It's gone. It's hopeless.
I think it's a cool sign, but
I don't see the problem with it. I mean, U-Boat's going into that building there. They deserve credit for putting a lot of work to that building.
But the city wants to take the sign over and protect the wording.
I know that.
That's such crap, man. Jesus.
It's always been the
If the city wants to make a big deal about it,
who put the sign up there?
White Staff and Sugar Company. It was taken over by the White Staff Company. White Staff sold the building and Made in Oregon bought it. Made in Oregon put their sign on the building. Made in Oregon sold the building. Now it's the University of Oregon. But it's not historic. The only historical part about it is the outline of the state of Oregon, the deer.
See, that's what I don't get.
What does that have to do with anything, though?
So we have
because the city of Portland has $500,000 to spend on this stupid sign.
Well, they want to find it somewhere else.
But they don't have $13.5 million to protect transit service in our city.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well, actually, Portland is doing all right in this transit mess. It's the outlining areas that are getting screwed here.
Well, I mean,
Washington County's getting
the areas
green.
that.
Well, what about the 1851 and 63?
What?
What about the 1851 and 63?
Yeah. Okay.
They're going to get
Wait a second.
The 18. Yeah, the 18.
Do people actually ride those buses? I mean,
Not many. Not many.
I mean, seriously?
51 is ridden. I know that. But that's just on the weekend they're going to get rid of that.
The 18, though, I mean, the ridership is so low, they shouldn't run it low.
That is really a low ridership. They're right about that one.
Two things. That's the former streetcar line.
Yeah.
And number two, there is a sign on McLean Hermosa that says for the 66.
66.
When in the 80s, it used to be the 66 that did that route.
There's a 66 sign still there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
Boy, I'd like to see that.
I saw your picture of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a picture of it on?
That's one of the things, too, that's really hypocritical about the city and Metro and them, is here we are, okay, so we have some bus lines that are horribly inefficient, like 18, and I don't know about 51, but I know 18 is.
51 carries people, yeah. 18 is inefficient, yeah.
And I mean, you have to maintain about 20 people on a bus to truly make
20 people per trip?
Well, 20 people average throughout the day per
I think it was 20 per boarding hour.
Yeah.
20 per boarding hour?
Yeah, you need to have about 20 people on a bus to truly, honestly make it at least as efficient or more efficient than the average mile per gallon per passenger in the country driving average cars.
How many people? 8? I heard 8.
No, it's like 20.
Okay.
I mean, it could be more efficient if they got more efficient buses and they operated them more efficient.
I would say it was 8 that
Well, 20 would be $40 an hour.
40 per buses on these underutilized routes and put cutaways.
Put vans or
it's like
something.
3 times the fuel mileage.
Yeah.
Well, they're they don't last as well.
And I'm also taking into account, I mean, it's 20 when you take into account the cost, too. I mean, you take into the total cost, you need to have 20 people at least on the bus, on average. And, there's a lot of time frequencies during the day where that's barely achieved. There's a lot of bus routes, or not a lot, but there's quite a few bus routes that don't achieve that. And you're talking about economically and environmentally unfriendly scenarios there.
So if you look at the bus per listener, and how many passengers on the average trip? One, $50, 2.
That's like taxi service, what they are.
Yeah, it is a
That's a huge. Yeah, how do they qualify to have such great service?
They should subsidize a taxi service that provides that service already because they're a taxi
And you know what they actually do in some cases, depending on where your revenue comes from. Part of the Lyft service is like if you're Medicaid.